Uploading. All issues are fine. We're good to go. Aaron, here we are. Welcome, everybody. Round 22 versus the Bulldogs. We're at home at 8 o'clock on Friday night. Massive, massive game. Lose, we're done. Win, we're still in mathematically in for a chance for the finals. Aaron, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Interesting team list Tuesday today. We had to make a few changes, so we were all, a bit excited to see which way they went. It's good to see they've named a few young kids there in the squad. Whether we get to see them both play or not, we're not sure yet, but it's good to see them there.
All right, I am just going to click on to the Facebook just to double check to see if we are actually live, and I can't see that we are, so I don't know. I don't know
I
if
think
we
it
are.
usually delays a little bit, so we'll just see.
Yeah, we'll just see. So, mate, just a quick shout out. This will be a podcast either way, but a quick sponsor shout out to Freedom and his team, Con and the like. Dude, I saw Community Pete, the Victorian or Melbourne guy, Community Pete, and he put up a thing saying 2 weeks ago I bought diesel for $1.82, and now I'm paying $2.40. So diesel prices, petrol prices have gone through the bloody roof, and that means that also your mortgages are probably going up as well. So get around Con, give him a call. The links and everything will be in there. Don't forget our partnership with. Lauren is there, so we've got a comment. So it is working. So we've got a partnership with Premium Sports Tours to get as many Storm fans to Vegas as possible. Get into get into the post, get into the comments, and let us know if you do go and buy them. We are still trying to make our way. That's a little shout out. I was a little bit thrown off this just before because I logged in the first time. G'day Shannon, g'day Sean. I logged in the first time and I got all sorts of errors, and then so I had to restart, get us back in. So hopefully it didn't cop too many people around or do anything like that. But we are good to go. What I want to do is I just want to reiterate to everybody, and I'll say it over the course, is to get in the chat, let us know. I'll put up the comments. And talk to us. Let us know. We've got 6 weeks to go, and this is our fan base page, which is a bit of a segue into something that I wanted to talk about, which is just if you get a chance to, everybody, get into the review and do a page recommendation or a review. It's just a free way for us, for you guys to support us and our page and the three of us that working in behind the scenes and doing what we do. By doing that, it just prioritizes us over the AI-generated stuff that keeps coming up as fake, that you guys keep seeming to want to message us all about problems and things that are happening. So, or lies and bits and pieces. So just if you get a chance, I think we've got 11 reviews in there now. It just helps to just a free way to support us. Get in there and do that. G'day, Jorge. Let's get straight into it. Hey, Aaron. So
yeah, let's do it.
Some talking points. So there are $10 tickets available.
Yeah, so obviously, with the ladder position and the way we're going, they probably want to make sure there's a few more people in there. And what better opportunity to put a $10 ticket out there and try and get a few extra people to the footy? I mean, we're not going to sell out this game. We all know that. So $10 to get down there if you're not a member and to watch the Storm, it's a good deal. So hopefully a few people take that offer, and hopefully AAMI Park's got a few people in it on Friday night.
I'm just tagging all the followers and saying we are live. Come join for a chat. This is what you get when you get onto live shows. Yeah, mate. So look, I think there'll still be a few Bulldogs fans. Generally, try to travel pretty well, and they make their way down to AAMI Park quite well. So there'll be a few there, but yeah, make the most of these $10 tickets. I think that's just bloody awesome. And then the next one is a huge talking point that has covered a few things. So we've got Bellamy. So straight after the game on the weekend, Bellamy came out and he said he gives his blessing to Munster to explore the PNG realm. What do you think about that, Aaron? And guys in the comments.
Look, I've heard a fair bit of talk, and I've done a bit of like gone a bit deeper than just the original thought comments that have gone out there. And look, I heard Braith on Triple M, and the way Braith spoke about it was more that the Storm are just so comfortable that they've given Munster the right option, and they built this respect over time that Munster, if he wants to go and hear this offer and PNG want to keep pushing to make that offer, the Storm have just said that now is a good time for him in a short window to go over there and at least hear the offer. But what Braith pretty much said there was that, you know, he really thinks that the Storm want to keep Munster and Munster wants to stay. So, like, ideally, they're just trying to get to a number that suits both parties. And as we've said before, we don't want to throw the bank $1.2 million at Munster. And Munster doesn't want to take a haircut, you know, too bad either, because he's got a family to raise and you only get one chance at it. So I think this is just a little bit of a ploy from the Anasta camp to go over there, hear an offer, and then put the offer back down on the Storm's table and see if they can squeeze the lemon a little bit more. That's my take, but I don't know.
I love it. I'm happy.
So do I, yeah.
This is the realm that we're in, and Munster deserves all the respect as he can to be able to explore his options and do these sorts of bits and pieces. So I have absolutely no problems. This guy has given literally his all to us at all times as much as he can. And, yeah, he's got a life and he's got all that, but he's also got an afterlife. And, okay, he's probably earned $10 million in his life. He's got marketing deals and sponsorships and all sorts of things. He's got money, and I know his misso probably earns a little bit of money with the content that she does and stuff like that. So they're in a pretty good spot. But, you know, at the end of your career, we had no problems with the likes of Kafusi's, with the Bromwich boys, leaving to go to the Dolphins to a brand new club and do it up there. And they knew that if I go up here, I can start a club, I can get them off the feet, and I can also get a good pay packet because that's where I'm at. And I wouldn't normally, and if I didn't have these new clubs come in, I wouldn't be getting this sort of money. So I'm going to make the most of it at the back end of my career. So I have absolutely no problems with Munster doing this whatsoever. And more than likely, he doesn't go anywhere and he stays with Melbourne. But I think it's fine. I have no problems with this conversation at all.
I mean, when the Dolphins came in as well, we seen Bennett have a crack at Munster, and Munster heard an offer with Bennett as well. And you know, I just think it's smart from Braith. I mean, I'm not the hugest Braith fan. I think sometimes he puts his foot in conversations he doesn't need to, and his place in the media kind of puts a little bit of a shadow over his player managing because it's a bit of a conflict of interest. But I do think he's doing the right thing here by Munster. Like, this will be his last deal. You dare say this will be the last deal he gets. So he might as well try and get the best one he can for him.
Shannon says, I think it says more about our culture as a club more than anything. You look at how other clubs have approached these sorts of things and it is like a soap opera. And I agree. Like, you know, you're hiding these guys back. And if they end up going, they go. Like, it is what it is. And it sucks. We want Munster to be there, but if that's the case, I think he's done everything he can. And Jorge says, unless Bianca gives Munster a visa for 2 years on his own, I don't see her and the young kids moving there. That's my thoughts. Yes, I don't see it, but I don't think they're going to be over there that much anyways. So I reckon they just stay in Melbourne and go from there. But I honestly do think he... I honestly think he just hangs around he signs and stays a one-club player. Mate, today, Cam Smith linked to the Broncos in a full-time assistant coaching role. What's your thoughts there?
I said the same thing to you. I can't see it happening. I don't think he wants a full-time role, and I don't think he's ever wanted a full-time role, but I can see the other side of the story. Dave Donaghy, the Broncos CEO, who used to be the Storm's media manager and then Storm's CEO, he's gone up there to run the club. Why wouldn't he ask the question? If Madge has ruffled too many feathers and got the playing group off, like there's rumours about, if that's happened, why wouldn't you ask Cameron Smith? I mean, he's a GOAT. He knows the game inside and out. He brings this energy that you're not going to get from... Like, he might not have the coaching acumen, but what he does have is the aura and the presence to come in there, and these guys will fucking listen to him. They will. They just will. So I think it's smart from the Broncos to ask. I just don't see it happening.
I mean, he's already there in a capacity. It's just a matter of whether and what the packet will be and what the deal will be as to whether he wants to go any further and do it. I know he's been on the record saying he doesn't really want to be a full-time coach, but I reckon there's an itch that'll be scratched or that'll need to be scratched at some point in his life because he's just got that much IQ and he's just that smart and he just loves the game so much that I can see him being a coach somewhere. It's just what that role is. To be honest, if I was a Broncos fan, so I'm going to look at it two ways. If I'm a Broncos fan, I have the expectation that my club is asking guys like Cam Smith to get him into my club. I have those expectations. I'd be pissed if they're not asking questions to all these people. It's just that the fact that it's Cam Smith is that this got in the media. I bet you they've asked plenty of other questions to other people, like Cam Smith, Billy Slater. Like they've asked those questions and it's come out. There'll be heaps of others that they haven't come out and said anything about or that we haven't heard of that they're asking those questions. And as a Storm fan, I'm looking at it going, well, my expectation is that the club is out there at the moment asking questions to people too to see who's available and who's not. I think that's the market. That's what you've got to do in sports. It's professional sports. And things change literally at the click of a finger. So you've always got to be on the front foot at all times.
Do you think from the other side of the this, if you were a Broncos fan now and like all these rumours are out there that Madge has, upset the playing group and potentially they might be looking to move Madge on, do you think it's a little bit, I don't know, a little bit rookie on their behalf that there's a story leaking that they're looking at Cam Smith as a future coach when they haven't even made their decision up on Madge yet?
I think they've already said Madge is staying, like the CEO or whatever's come out and said Madge will be the coach in 2027. And the comments today have come out saying that they want Smith to be a full-time assistant, and to get him in there. So I don't know. I don't think so. I think that's probably I see what you're doing. I think it's probably just reading into it a little bit too much, and that's what we love to do. So that's Cam Smith. Next is Reed, missed our favourite journo. Reed has come out today in an article saying that the Storm should be and would be frustrated with the Lomax news going out to PNG. What's your take on that one, Aaron?
Honestly, it doesn't bother me. I mean, we had a crack at him. We didn't get him. We tried. Don't get me wrong. We did everything we could to try, but they didn't want to release him then. Time changed. He went off to go play rugby. He said he's focused on trying to play a Rugby World Cup, which is fair. He needs to see out that deal if he wants to do that. And then someone's coming over the top with a tax-free incentive to give him 2 more years in the game over there. I just think the timing wasn't right, and our attack on Lomax didn't work. But it is what it is.
Look, unfortunately, Lomax wanted out of that shit show at the Eels, so he wanted out, and we were just the scapegoat to try and get him out, and we tried, and off he went, and it didn't work out. I'm going to say 2 things. Isako and Cherry. We got those 2. So we got Lomax. Now, is Lomax better than those 2? Hell yeah, he is. He's one of the best wingers in the comp, and an Australian player and an Origin player. He's a star. But we got 2. So we've got Isako and Cherry. We've been able to lock down a centre and a winger, and we've been able to get our kicker that we needed as well. So, I'm not too stressed by it at all. I'm annoyed. I think there's some things that happened in the past, but that's what it is. That's the end of it.
Especially now that Storm's come out and said that Howarth will be here next year. You've got Cherry and you've got Howarth on the other centres. If we bring Lomax in, basically you're one of them's going to have to be a depth player, and none of those 5 are depth players. They're starters. So, it was a timing thing, and we missed out. We went a different way, and the way that we went is a good way. So I'm excited for 2027. Our back 5's elite.
Oh, it's going to be fun. And just a quick shout out to our Player of the Year award and a bit of a rundown. So at the end of round 21, the player of the game was Stefano. Very clear Stefano, 3 votes, 2 Sewer. 1 was a draw between STB and Oren Keeley, which gives us with 6 rounds to go, a top 5 of Sewer with 27 votes, Warbrick with 15. Unfortunately, is not going to get another vote, so he's nowhere near it. Clark with 11 votes, Grant with 10 votes, and Stefano with 10 votes. So I'm going to make a prediction here, Aaron, and I'm going to put a really big call out. Su'a
Go
wins
for it.
the Purple Rain's Player of the Year. It's just screaming at me, man.
Oh, honestly, it's one or two people now. If you ask me, I think I think that Steph's got a big year to finish off and lead from the front. We've lost a lot of leadership there, so we need our alpha male to get out there and set the tone and try and lay a platform for our younger boys. Because if you come into that side and you're playing behind Steph wants to show you that he can get the job done. So I think Steph's going to stand right up, hold his clubs high for the rest of the year. And Sua's, he was awesome early in attack, and since then he's rounded out his game and he's done a lot of things to really develop as a player. His defense has got better, his positioning's got better. You can see him communicating better. He's playing through the middle of the field rather than trying to skip on the outside all the time. We've noticed these things in his game. So, I mean, it's his first year at fullback. If he doesn't win our Player of the Year this year, I think he definitely wins Storm Back of the Year this year. That's almost a given. So, mate, it's his first full year at fullback. I think anyone that's into him or having a go at his performance this year is just A, they may not like him being there, or B, they don't want him there, and they're just kicking stones because they can, basically. I think he's been great.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's your votes, it's my votes, and it's the community's votes. So, and there's been heaps of times where yours or mine we picked 3, and they didn't even end up in the votes because the community didn't have them. So, it can go anywhere, and this is exactly what could happen. But to be fair, Su'a is 27. Clark is 11 and Stefano is 10. They're with 5 games to go, 6 rounds in total. We have a bye there somewhere. I think it's in round 24 off memory.
Yeah.
So there's only a total of 15 votes left. So there's actually no one that can win it over Su'a. So
can I just jump in with a couple more talking points that they weren't on the list? I just had them. I forgot to give them to you before. Just for anyone that wants to go watch the Jersey Flag and the New South Wales Cup side, they're both on this Friday as well. 2:00 and 4:00 at Seabrook Reserve. So you can get out there and you can watch the boys early, and then you can make your way into AAMI Park. So that's something you can do with the family. Take your kids after school, or just get out there and have a look, because that's a good afternoon's entertainment. And the last thing I had there was just the doggies' form in the last 6 weeks, it's actually the last 8 weeks, because they've had 2 buys in there as well. But they've won 5 of their last 6, and they've had a couple of really decent wins in there, especially like last week. To beat the Warriors 18-6, that's their best game of the year. So they're in form at the moment, and they're pushing for the 8. They're sitting 9th. They're 2 points out of the 8. So I'm sure they're coming in on Friday night to really ruffle some feathers and lay a claim for a position in the 8.
Love it. Good shout out. Let's get around the Resi's boys and really get into our future. We are talking so much about our future, and we're going to see a few of them this weekend or on Friday night. There's one last point, and that was the signed footies.
Oh, yeah, so I did see that. Budget directive, the players are going to get a whole lot of signed footies. But, I mean, we have to win, which is it's caused a little bit of at least questions being asked. But if Storm win, there'll be some budget direct signed footballs given out to the crowd, and the players will stay around for longer than usual, and they'll get around and see the fans, get some photos, sign some autographs. So just be aware of that. If you're at the game and you do want to stick around, and we do win, of course, you might get a chance to get a prize photo or something signed, or talk to the player that you look up to. So that's a good one too.
Yeah. Great stuff. So let's get into TLT. This is exactly what everyone is on about. Sally has said 21s are on Saturday. Yep. And Sally just wrote, I missed her comment before. People are just expecting too much. Half these players were playing 21s last year. A year out of finals won't hurt the club. And Vinny, I don't know. Can we accept this apology?
Yeah, we'll give her a break.
Oh, we'll
give her a break. She's always here.
A free pass once. All right, let's go. So we play the Storm. So we are the Storm. We play the Bulldogs at 8:00. It's at AAMI Park or at home on Friday night for round 22. We're going into this game at $2.50, well behind the Bulldogs, who are favourites at $1.53. Sewer named at fullback. STB and Leo round out the wingers, with Mania coming in for Howarth, unfortunately with his lingering shoulder injury, which has popped up, with Nick Meaney in the centres. Tyrone, Wishart and Hughes are in the halves, with Stefano and King in the props, and Tolau comes in to start at hooker for the injured Grant, who did a hammy. They reckon he'll be back if we're still in contention and things, around 25 after that bye. We've got Cooper Clark in on the edge in the 11 jersey, and Keeley on the other edge in the 12, with Lee Arrow rounding out the 13. Hayden Watson comes in as the 14 and potentially gets a debut game. So we'll watch that with very keen eyes, and we'll talk about that later in just a second. Alec McDonald, Hetherington, Blore returns into the bench. Chan, and then Hinchy rounds out our interchange. And then for the Bulldogs, Connor Tracy at fullback, with Kiraz and Rinakama on the wings. Burton and Tuala is the centres. Crichton gets that, is the 5'8". Again, Lockie Galvin, I think that's their matchup they're going to stay with for the rest of this year, and so they should. Max King at prop with Leo Thompson. Bailey Haywood at the hooker. Kickow and Preston are back and healthy on the edges, with Jamin Salmon, that weak-gutted dog, I think is what his nickname is, at the 13. Kurt Mann, 14. Josh Curran, Harry Hayes, Jones, Reardon, and O'Sullivan round out the Bulldogs bench. A lot to cover in today's TLT. Aaron, let's get into it. Go straight up.
So I'll just go, initial thoughts for me are we just need to ignore the injuries and the ladder position, because it really doesn't matter. We need to worry about, who is playing and what they bring to the team, because we're stretching deep into the bottom of the squad now. That everyone knows that, but that isn't an excuse not to show up and play. So for me, my initial thought is that treat this game on its own merit, and whoever's there is asked to do a job. And if they can do a job, we can definitely compete in this game. I'm sure of that. So I'll start by saying that. That's my number one take. But looking at this side, I took some notes on Howarth, and I think some people are talking about this, and that's the reason I went back and just checked the stats. So people are talking about Howarth's injuries and, how he's been in and out and how it's been ongoing. So what I went back and did is I had a look, and in 2024, the Storm played 16 games. He played 16 games, out of a possible 27. So he missed 11 games in 24. That was the Premiership, the Panthers game, basically, that year. And then the next year was 2025. He played 16 games out of 27 as well. So he missed 11 games in 25 as well. And this year he's already had 19. So this year, we haven't seen the injuries from Howarth. I know it feels like he has a few injuries, but 19 games this year, and when we're in round 22, means he's only missed 3. And one of them's this week. So I think it's a little bit harsh to say he's in and out like a tampon, which is, I hear that all the time. And I just think it's people with just listening to the media a bit much. He's improved this year. He hasn't had those injuries. So, interesting though to change it up there with Mania comes back in to play at centre. So every time Mania has been named at centre, there's been late changes and we've seen him shift out to the wing. So I'm actually excited to see him stay at centre this week. And I really think this week he will stay at centre, because Moses has earned his spot there out on the wing, and I'm excited to see it. So that's good.
What's your prediction around what happens with our, 3 of the spine? So we've got Tyron, Wishart, Hughes, Talau, and then obviously Watson, the potential debutant, named in the 14. Doesn't even have a friggin' picture. I'm very disappointed about this. Keeley still doesn't have a picture.
Look, I think the way we've done it, we've put Wishy at 6, Hughesy at 7, and Tolau at 9. I think that's the right way to name them now, for sure. I think Tolau has shown, like last week in the last 20 minutes of the game when the shackles came off, I think Tuala played a pretty decent game. I actually think he played a pretty decent game the whole game. He just got one mistake early that cost us points, and people got on him for that. And it looked like he was told to just get through the first 20 minutes unscathed. So hopefully they just give Tuala the keys and say, mate, you just run, because if you can get out over that ad line and you can get the forwards onto the ball, we can really lay a platform there to start playing our way. So hopefully he gets the Harry Grant license, which is be deceptive around the ruck, try and read the play, try and get up on the ball and bring the forwards into the game. So I do like that they've started with Tuala there. And I think, like, obviously Hughesy's going to start at 7. He's our halfback, and like he's second in the comp for tries and he's second in the comp for try assists. So if Hughesy can bring that creativity this week and he can put people through some holes and find some try assists, I think I think his leadership is pivotal this week, because we've lost a lot. So I think that stays like that.
How many minutes do you think Watson plays?
It depends how they use him. That's what I think. So I think that Tolau's not going to get through 80. So do you move Wishy back through the 9 and give Watson a run in the halves? Because I know Watson can cover the 9, but I don't think I'd be putting him in there to cover the 9 in his debut game. I think he needs to be in the halves. That's his game. That's what he wants to play. So I think there's a chance that potentially Wishy gets moved back to the 9 to cover when Tolau goes off. Well, ultimately, I think there's a genuine chance that Jai Bowden gets a run. Just depends on how we use our bench and how many minutes we can get out of the rest of them. So
the only way that happens is he comes through. He's got to get on. So someone has to drop out. So for Bowden to do that, who comes out?
We lose a forward and Blore plays 50 or 60 minutes max, and then we get Cooper back through the middle. So. Yeah, I know that Blore played 51 minutes last week in the New South Wales Cup, so his tank must be getting better, because we were only given 15, 20 minutes when he was coming back from whatever that was. So I feel like if we can get 60 minutes out of Blore, Cooper can play the first 20 minutes on the edge, then we can get Blore onto the edge, and then we can put Cooper back for another 30 minutes through the middle, potentially save a rotation there. And for the last 15 minutes of the game, I think there's a genuine chance we see Jai Bowden this week.
Glenn says, great opportunity to get some experience into the young lads, which I totally agree. But the thing is, and we are still in mathematical finals contention, so I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater type thing and just put these young kids in and say off you go. Like, it's not the way we've been. We haven't done that really in the past, and I don't want to do it now. So I like the fact that Talau's coming in here as the 9. I like the fact that Watson could come off the bench. I don't know if Jai even gets into the reserves, but into the interchange off the reserves, but let's just see what happens. We all go from there. Jorge has mentioned quickly here, Hughes still looks like he's playing with that injured hammy. Do you sort of agree with that, Aaron?
Look, I thought, watching the game, I thought that. And then I went and checked his stats. He still kicked for like 11 kicks last week. He had 2 try assists. He ran the ball. He was over 100 metres. So I think he put in the effort last week, but maybe that effort just pushed him too far. I'm not sure, but he definitely, just to look at, just as like a simple looking at the game, yeah, I thought he was a little bit hampered and he wasn't being himself. But then when I went back and looked at the stats, he actually had a fair impact. So I'm not quite sure. I hope he's all good, and I hope he can kick for 500 metres this week, because God knows we're going to need it.
Oh, Burton will be bombing them too. So, Terry says, I hope Oren isn't feeling unloved not having his Storm photo done. Sally's jumped in here. She's one that's in the know. They do all the photos in January. Sally, I don't care whether they do the photos and when they do them. We've got a new guy. Get the freaking Storm photo on there and get it updated. Let's put him in there. I hate that. I really do. I hate that. And then Jess is sitting in the background saying it'd be nice if they updated them. I've had to resort to AI for the team list, which I absolutely detest. We don't use AI. We're not an AI page, although some people like to say that we are. Let's go into the TLT. Is that all you want to say about TLT?
just a couple of things. Mania's going to return from his ankle back into the centres. And I put there, like last week, he played 80 minutes at 5'8" in New South Wales Cup. So there's an option that they could, like Chan's on the bench, we can do something with the centres. I mean, there's definitely an option there. I don't know if they'll do it, but there's an option is what I'm trying to say. So that is one option. And look, I just took some notes on Hayden Watson and Jai Bowden just from last week's New South Wales Cup, or the last 2 weeks' New South Wales Cups games, because I've watched both of them. So I just thought I'd bring up a couple of stats from these kids. And I mean, Jai's 19. I think Hayden's, he's 20 or 21. I'm not quite sure on that. But like Hayden Watson last week, he had 3 try assists, 10 runs, 93 metres, 1 line break, 1 line break assist. Just carved them up in a losing team, just managed to put on 3 tries. And against the Roosters the week before, he had a try assist. He had a try himself, 12 runs, 132 metres for the game. So he's a running half. He sees and plays what's in front of him. He's a decent-sized body, and he's got a really good kicking game. I watched it in the Queensland game, and I've watched it in the New South Wales Cup. His boot's great. And that's goal kicking as well. Like he kicked 3 from 4 last week and then 100% the week before. So that's another string to his bow that we can watch out for. So that's great. And like the Jai Bowden one, I sent you 2 videos today just before, Trav. I don't know if you got a chance to watch them, but in the last 2 games, Jai's come in against fully grown men in New South Wales Cup, and he's come in the last 20 minutes and been given a task to make something happen in both losing games. And in both those games, I put 34 minutes, 1 line break assist, but he took 48 times he touched the ball. So he's not shy. He'll get in there. He's a big body. He's quick around the ruck. His leg speed's great. I've been told he's tough as all shit. So that's a positive too. He's not going to be scared if he gets a crack. And I have been told that his vision and his ability to see the play is great as well. So I don't know. I'm excited. I hope we can see him get on the ground. But as you said, something will have to go wrong. And if it does, I think if we lose a half or if we lose a hooker, he's coming into play for sure. But we'll have to see what happens.
I think it's a good shout. I think this is a good one, a good segue into how we beat the Bulldogs and some matchups and things like that. So I've got one of the ones now. The Bulldogs are unchanged this week. With their starting 13. So they love what they see in terms of Burton in the centres and Crichton out to 5'8". And I think from me watching the Bulldogs as well, that is their clear matchup. Kiraz is looking more and more healthier by the day, which is insane for this guy because he is just a freak. I think the more he's injured, the better he plays. But I've got a major concern, and my concern is STB and Leo on the wings, Mania and Meaney inside in the centres. Kiraz is a big body and just belts people, and he loves it. Rinakama is tall and athletic. Tuala and Burton are no scrubs in the centres. Burton, in particular, is just a beast inside there with that centres now that he's there, and he's an Origin centre and an Australian centre and things. So I've got major concerns with our outside backs compared to the Bulldogs, Aaron. So what? First of all, just touch on that, and then tell us what does the middles need to do to overshadow that.
It's funny that you said that. We haven't really talked about how we can win this game. We just had the note how we can win, and we both went at it our own different ways, and we'd talk about it tonight. So my first note was our defense needs to be better on the edges. I felt like last week we were shooting out and trying to shut down the play early and just leaving our winger high and dry or leaving our centre high and dry, and we weren't playing team deep. Yeah, just look, I mean, I think a couple of times we missed tackles inside our 20. I mean, Howarth missed probably 2 that cost us points, and he probably missed more than 2. But yeah, I think our defense needs to be better. We need to play as a team. I think we just need to slide out and back. The shooting out isn't working for us at the moment, and teams that shift the ball well and play a bit of shape are carving us up. So let's get back to basics this week and try and minimise the damage they can score there, because as you said, they've got some pretty dangerous edges. I mean, Tuala killed us last time we played him. Like he's no stud, but like he dominated us last time. So yeah, that definitely
he's
is.
very underrated, Tuala, and he gets covered because of the rest of the around that are around him. But like, I have massive. I'm with Drake here. Drake's, as I said, I think I put it up before. If I haven't, I'll do it again. But he says I'm worried for the back line this week, and I am too. Like, not one of those four are known for having much defense. And to be fair, across the year, we've had many a time where we've called all four of these guys out for really poor defensive reads and mistakes against the attacking prowess of Kiraz, Burton, Tuala, and Rinakama. Because to be fair, all four of them are all known for being attacking beasts. We're in a bit of strife. So for me, I think they can hold their own, but it's got to come through the middle. And our forwards, Stefano and King, with Liero, with even Clark and Keeley, have to push inside a little bit more and protect the middle a little bit more to push up the field and get us up the field so that we have the ability to help our wingers defend. Because if our wingers and centres are stuck on islands defending these guys within 20 metres on the run, it's Tri-City.
Yeah, and look, we haven't got bricks, so we're going to have trouble getting out of our back end. So it's going to be a big job. I genuinely feel like STB has to go for 16 or 17 runs on Friday night, and I think Moses is going to have to get in there and do at least the same. I think those guys are going to need to push up 150, 200 metres because we've lost all our strike out of the back end, and usually we've got X and Brick there. Now we're without either, so that's going to be important for me. And we know we're going to get the ball inside our 10 because Burton will get it inside the 10 from anywhere in the field pretty much. So
he's got a weird ability to be able to put the ball on a dime. So he can kick that ball and he'll literally put it wherever he feels like putting it, and he's just got that amazing knack to do that with such high ability too, which allows them to get good kick chase. Jorge's just made a good point that I think I can jump into next, and then Aaron, I'll jump through. But he says, you know what grinds my gears? It's the 10 seconds is about to run out. When watching the doggies play, is that I know the Kiraz is going to offload the ball when he brings the ball out from their end, and he almost always gets away with it. Absolute bullshit. Me up the wall.
Look, offloads have killed us this year. There's been games where second phase play has made our defense just doesn't know what to do. So, and the Dogs are renowned for throwing the ball around. So Drake's spot on there, and we need to be careful to wrap the arms and really limit those offloads because they're bloody good at it and they will damage us. I think the thing that I took about that is what really grinds my gears. We haven't done that segment in ages.
No, we haven't. Because we've been jumping on lives and all sorts of things. But we and also I think the last time we did it, we only had about 10 or so grind, and it was pretty common, and everyone was talking about it. So maybe we get some people to get into the grind. Maybe we put a post out for Grind My Gears for the live show over the weekend or whatever we end up doing with that. Drake's just asked a question here, Aaron, and it says, how do we keep messing up our defense on the edges when teams run the same shape every game? If you just hold the line and stop shooting out and trust your inside man. Yeah,
that's exactly what I was just talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And we had, is it Chance? The fella that came on in the live show on Friday night last week or Saturday night last week, an NRL coach, or not an NRL coach, but a rugby league coach, coaches juniors and things, and he really pointed it out in a particular moment when it was the Meaney into the STB that left Hughes and Keeley out on an island to try and defend AJ, who gets over for the try. Unfortunately, as we discussed, it happens so often.
Yeah, and like I think when X is there, he times them perfect. He doesn't go unless he's going to get him or he gets a hand on him. So the last couple of weeks we've been shooting out and we just get left 2 meters short. And when you're 2 meters short, all you've done is just open up your outside man to getting stripped easily. So definitely need to pick our moments and just if we have to defend our line without shooting out, let's just defend our line rather than just giving up and having a Hail Mary play it, trying to shut it down.
Look, I don't know, Aaron. I've missed something. All aboard the Para Express. I can't believe that Para don't matter has been mentioned that many times already in this podcast, and I just don't. I've missed it. I've been talking footy, and I've missed the conversation. If someone could just get in there and let me know what happened.
They're talking about the Gateway Club. I've been
now
kind
that
of
Luai signed there.
Yeah, they're the Gateway Club.
How did that even happen? Where did
I don't know.
go up?
No, it's because Pizzette, you go there for a holiday before you go to your next club.
Yeah, true. And now Luai's going there before he heads off and all sorts. But, okay, the next thing I've got is how the hell do we stop Preston running off the hip of Galvin this weekend?
I think it's like he's going to run that unders line. He's going to run it hard. We just need to be aware that he's coming, so just get your body in front of him and just try and initiate the contact with him. And mate, if he gets he's got great hands. So if he does get the ball off, he's going to, he's dangerous. So I think we just got to make sure we match up evenly on our outside edges and just get in front of him. And will it be Keeley?
What side does Keeley play? Right. Cooper's on the left. So Preston is on the right. So it'll be Keeley.
Fun
I hate the bloody numbers. I hate the NRL.com because I know that they come out, they're named at 12, but they play on the left, and the 12 is supposed to be traditionally the right. But, funny enough, we just talked about Preston, and on the other side is Kickow, the big bloody monster that he is.
Yeah, the edges, we got Keeley and we got Clark, and I think Bloor will come in there at some stage. So I just think on paper they've got us covered easily in the edges, the second row. And that's because it's because we're playing people that haven't played there that much.
I think Drake has made an interesting point, and he says Galvin plays the same play every game. Just rush Galvin and Preston, and Galvin will be forced to go behind. I think if this is a week for the two of them to come together, it'll be Clark, and I think it's Preston it'll be Keeley versus Kickow. If these two want to be initiated into the Storm, here's a matchup for you to really show. That, not that Clark, I think, needs to prove it in it, not that Keeley needs to prove in it, but God, this is going to be a juicy matchup with some young guys trying to lock their positions down and lock spots down against, Preston, who wants an Australian jersey, and Kickow, who's just an absolute monster.
Yep, 100%. Danger part of the park Friday.
Yep. Michael says, do you reckon Hayden Watson gets the 6 jersey over Wishy as a late change, or keep it as it is, bring Watson off the bench? I personally think Watson just comes off the bench.
Yeah, I don't think he gets the 6 jersey. I think Wishy starts there. I think the only way Hayden Watson ends up in the halves is there's an injury, and he's there for that reason. And that's why I think Jai's in the extended bench as well, just in case that happens. If there's an injury in the halves, it's a pretty easy decision. Hayden goes into the halves, Jai comes into the 14, and he covers the 9. So I think that's what he's there for. I think that's what they're both there for. And now we just need to see what happens.
I've got one last point before I'll throw the reins to you. And it's last week in that second half, when we started to look free, it was almost like when Bellamy says to the team, okay, let's all, guys, just go and play. Play naturally, have some fun, get it out there. If you make a mistake, you make a mistake. It is what it is. We looked a completely different team, and we looked freer, and especially Talau. And if Talau can run those lines off the play of the ball like he did in that second half, I think that gives us a really good shot, because that's exactly what our forwards need. It's exactly what our edges need, and it's exactly what Hughesy needs to, or even Wishart, because he loves to run too, need to be free. What's your thoughts there?
Even Su'a, if Talau can run and Su'a can support through the middle, I think he becomes dangerous as well. So I think I said it last week in the review, and I say it again, we can't have Talau playing reserved football. Like his weapons is his attack, and that's what he likes to do. He is crafty around the ruck. He does like to dart. He does like to shoot out and skip on the outside of the first defender. So I think we need to see it, and geez, I hope they just let him go because, mate, we're at a point in the season now where this is ride or die. You know, we just let him play. Yeah, 100%.
I don't think it's just Talau though, Drake. I actually think it's everybody. Let Wishy just run like he loves to do. Let Keeley just run and be in the back. Let Sewer just run. Let our wingers, like, okay, they're not defensive renowned, but every single one of them is a good attacking player. Leo has speed to burn. STB has speed to burn. I really hope that they just go out there and say, let's just be free. And if we lose by 20, we lose by 20 by having a crack at our natural game instead of trying to just make this a dogfight. Like, if we make this a dogfight and lose, I'll be quite pissed off. I'd prefer to lose by 20, but have our guys get out there having a go.
Yeah, my comment on that, exactly what you're talking about, is we aren't going to defend our way to a victory. We're going to put points on. No way. We're going to put points on or we're going to lose. So we've got to throw our hands. It's simple as that.
I think that comment, Jorge, was in reply to Robert's comment, which was, do you guys think the Bulldogs should have released Bronson Cherry before June 30? He's only playing New South Wales Cup now. We have covered this a couple of times. I think they should have. I honestly think they should have. I think the Storm should have said yes. But you're on the opposite side. We have covered that.
Yeah. Oh, like in terms of the point where doggies sit on it, they were the ones who stood their ground because they might need to use him, and that is their right. So that's fine. If they get an injury to a centre, if Burton goes down or Tuala goes down, they need him, you know, and especially if they're going to make the 8. So I definitely see that side of the point. Like I don't think they've done anything wrong by keeping him, and I think they don't think they've done anything wrong by asking for something. I'm on the boat that, mate, he wasn't going to be the magic pill that fixes us this year. We were already put ourselves in a shit position. Let's get out of it with what we've got left and try and do the best we can. So, yeah, we have covered that part.
Terry, everyone hates us winning, and to be fair, we do it every year. It's only been 3 times as of this year or maybe our 4th time this year that we haven't made the finals, but that's still a story to be told. Aaron, is there anything else you want to talk about on how we beat the Bulldogs this weekend?
I've probably got 3 things. I think the first one, I want to see Meaney back on the kick and tee. Last week we got a little bit of information that he still had a bit of a niggle there.
Oh, please don't let it be freaking Wishart. Please don't let it be Wishart.
Yeah, I really want to see Meaney kicking again. I hope he's back to 100%, and I hope we can start kicking at 80 plus again, which you know, every first grade team needs to go up by 6s because 4s just aren't enough to get wins. And I think, you know, last week we could have won the game if we kicked straight. I mean, don't get me wrong, they didn't kick perfect either, but we could have won the game if we did. There's a couple of times this year where the same things happen. So, yeah, definitely. I want to see that. The other one I've got there is I think Sewer needs early ball. We've seen what he did when he got early ball last week. That run through the middle, that standing up Dufty at the back, that's what everyone wants to see. So let's give him an opportunity to do that.
I'm so happy you said that. I'm sorry if I cut you off there, but I'm so happy you said that. Suafa'alongo is not Reece Walsh, but when Reece Walsh has the ball in his hands early and often, he makes that whole team a whole different club. When Sewer has the ball early and often, and he is running and he's forcing the line and he's drawing people in, he changes our whole outlook and what we do. I honestly, Sewer needs the ball. He almost needs to touch it twice every set.
Yeah, look, maybe it might definitely help. But I definitely said that I want Sewer's average runs for the year is 19 runs. He averages about 200 meters for a game. I think this week we need to see Sewer having 23, 24 touches of the ball, and I think we need him having 250 plus meters, and that's what I'd be going for. I'd be saying, okay, Sewer, we're going to give you the ball here, and you mentioned Reece Walsh then. When Reece Walsh gets the ball, he holds the ball out in front of him, and everyone shits himself because he's got the ball out in front, and they don't know if he's going to do a quick turn of speed and burn you on the outside and have like a magic pass. The guy's got unreal hands, or he's going to burn you with a bit of acceleration. Sewer's a little bit different in the sense that if you give him early ball, he will stand you up and turn you inside out. He's crafty with his feet, not with his hands. So if he can get through there and have those line breaks and everyone supports with Sewer, I think we can have some luck there with Sewer. So 100%, Drake, I'm with you 100%. I've been saying it all year.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't care. I'm happy for errors to come. If Sewer's being a ferret hanging around the ruck a lot and trying to get in and out of things, and he makes a few errors because he's trying to play like that, I'm okay with that, because I reckon all the positives is going to be what it will far outweigh a couple of errors that he's trying to overdo things.
100%.
And I'm all over that. You've got a third point.
My third point and my last point was Bailey Hayward at 9. I think Bailey Hayward's a decent player. I don't think he's the 9 that he's all cracked up to be. So he's a good 14, and he comes in and can do a short stint. I wrote here he's going to tackle his dick off. Like, he's going to make 40 or 50 tackles. That's what he does, okay? He's going to do that. But if you look at his stats for the year, he averages 4 missed tackles a game, and he averages, I think, 2 or 3 ineffective tackles a game as well. So he's not the greatest defender. So if you can get at him early and you can make him make some mistakes around the middle, and even if he doesn't wrap up the arms, and we can get some second phase play ourselves, with Trent turning around, backing in and getting the ball dumped out the back, or even Alec doing that, or Kingy's been doing it a little bit, and I think Steph's been doing it a little bit. If we can get that happening where we can attack Hayward, get the ball out the back, and then we can shift to Sewer who can skip on the outside, I really think we can have some joy there as well.
Definitely. I love the term ferret. I use the term for Hammer Tabuai Fido as a ferret in Origin, and he loves to get tries off being that ferret. Has hanging around, always there when the drop of the ball. It's just what they do. They're ready there, chomping at the bit to go. Drake has said, get Stefano running at him all night. I love that. And he said, good assessment as a...
I also don't. I didn't write it down. I haven't even thought about this. But like, now that we've said that, Trent's got a big game on his hand. I mean,
Huge.
Who's there? Who's playing? Jamin Salmon playing 13 for them.
Yeah, the week,
mate. Yeah, absolutely. I really think that now that I think about it, if Trent has a really big game there and control the middle and just keep punching in behind the ruck and keep working in there, keep hitting Hayward, keep getting into him, keep making him retreat, keep getting the big fights going backwards, I think that will go a long way to at least getting us into the right parts of the field to attempt to score some points.
Aaron, Jen has made a really good comment. We've said this a few times. We have lost 4 games this year by less than a converted try. The other thing that I think is really important to say is that even now, we would still be a top 4 team if we won the games that we were ahead at halftime. We would be in the top 4. So that stat is still relevant. So,
we've had some fucking shit losses this year. I mean, sometimes we've had to come in and do the review where we know we should have won that game. I mean, there's
Cowboys, Broncos.
Oh. Mate, there's heaps. We could rattle them off. Manly.
Yep.
Fuck, there's
Bulldogs,
so many.
The first Bulldogs game. Heaps. Should have
a season
last week.
Yeah, easily we could have beat them last week. I thought we did okay though, and this is another point. I actually looked into it. I think our forward pack the last 2 or 3 weeks really has done a pretty good job.
Yeah,
so
we nailed that in the preview on the review show.
Yeah, I really do think our forwards have been trying to aim up and they're trying to lead from the front. So let's just see a bit more of that. Let's hopefully get a debutant, or maybe we get 2. As I said, there's a big chance, I think, that Jai could come on and he could cover the 9 at the end of the game if we can make our rotations work. So I'm excited to see that, and I don't really care about making the finals. I'm not even thinking about it, because in my own head, it's been a bridge too far for a long time now. And if it was going to happen, it was going to be a bonus. It wasn't going to be what I expected to happen. So for now, I don't care about that. What I want to see is effort. I want to see intensity. I want to see start from the start, because last week against the South and the week before against Manly, we get down to an 8-0. They get 8-0 in front because we just don't jump out of the gates. I want to see from the very first hit up, someone gives it their all and has a decent crack at firing up the boys.
Jen, I've just put in here any questions. The last 5 minutes is open. I'm just going to open the floor to the fans, so we'll just talk a little bit of shit if we can, Azza, and we'll go from there. But Jen does have one question, and she has said, has the introduction of the reserves made us take a step back? Now, I'm not going to say it's made us take a step back, but we didn't adapt very well to it. And I don't think we, even towards the end of this year, are we getting our selections on the interchange right? Like, we are doing so many last minute changes. So I still think even now we haven't quite nailed the way that the 6-man bench and reserves is.
Does she mean the reserves that way, or does she mean us having a New South Wales Cup side? I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure which way she's gone at it. But, like, if we're talking about the New South Wales Cup side, has that brought us down? I think the fact that we've had to play so deep into our squad means we're picking blokes from that New South Wales Cup side. So that's part of the reason. But if we're talking about the 6-man bench, I agree with Trav. I think most of the year we just went in with a 4-man bench plan. And then the other 2 people, which, like, we've seen time and time again this year, where player 5 or player 6 plays in the New South Wales Cup and then still sits on the 6-man bench. Like, is that taking it seriously? Like, these guys could be used. Yeah. I just think, Jen, that we've had to dig into that side. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 blokes, I think, now that have come through that side that have had to step up and be in our starting side. So I don't think that's the reason. I think the injuries is the main reason why we've struggled. I think losing Paps at the end of last year and having to change the way we play a little bit to suit Sua's style changed us a little bit, and that took us a while to adapt. And I think losing Katoa on the edge, mate, and X at the start of the year, it just took away, all of our, not all, but half of our attacking options for the year. We had to find a new way to score. So lots of things have gone wrong. I'm not going to single out anything, but I'm definitely not blaming the fact that we've got a reserve grade side. We always still had one. It just wasn't an official Storm one.
It was separated, hey. So players would play in Q Cup, New South Wales Cup, and they play for Logan or Ipswich and blah, 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 and they jump in and do it. I actually think that having our own club and having our own stuff is by far the best for our club right now and will be into the future. And I'm very much looking forward to when we get a women's team too.
Well, the pathway, like, I think we've all seen that pathway to AAMI Park poster. I'm not sure if everyone's seen it, but, like, there is a clear pathway now from under 16s. Like, if you want to play first grade footy, this is the way you come through. And then you can be elite pathway player and you'll get promoted and you'll get training sessions with the further squads, and then you develop further and further and further. And as you get closer, you've got like people now like your Jai Bowden, who, like, he's only 19. He's 2 grades down. He's playing in New South Wales Cup because the Storm want to get minutes into him against men. So this is where, if you're in our system, if you're developing at a rate where you can handle the next step, you can get a go at it now. So you don't just get pigeonholed to playing in your age group or playing against kids when you're a kid. If you're good enough, you're old enough. And that's always been a saying there in the AFL world. If you're good enough, you're old enough. And they'll pick kids that are 18 if they're ready to go. A little bit different in NRL because people run straight at each other and they're fucking giants. But you understand the point. Now, if you're someone like a Jai Bowden who is big and who is strong and who is tough and you do play well, we haven't even mentioned this. Gabriel Satrick would have got picked as that extra player this week, but he got a suspension last week in the New South Wales Cup. And when he gets his suspension, it just opens the door now for a kid who no way expected to be in the first 17 team list at this year. Like it was not on his 2026 bingo card, but because the cards have fallen a certain way, Harry's been injured, and then now Satrick's got that suspension. We're looking at, another bloke that's just come through the ranks that knows his pathway. And that pathway, if you know it and it's clear, that means you can focus on doing what's going to be right to get you there. So it's great.
Vinny agrees with you, Aaron. Man, everyone's agreeing with you tonight. Losing Pack,
Weird.
Katoa, 3 main try scorers has a huge impact on the dynamics of the team. And Terry, guys, everybody out there, anyone that's going to listen to this podcast in the next few days, can we hook Terry up with a chiropractor? Someone get around her. She feels like she's in need, the lovely lady that she is. Robert says, we've got a little one here. He says, I know this has been mentioned before, but are we done with Josiah Pahulu, or he just needs a big preseason next year?
Well, I'll go first.
Yeah.
I had the same feeling with Lazarus Falepu, and I said it from the day we started seeing him in the Falcons. His legs are too big. And that doesn't mean you're not going to get a game. But the game has changed. If you can't get to your feet fast and you can't get back the 10 in time so you can lead the line speed, that's what Bellamy wants. Have a look at the way Penrith do it. All their forwards get to their feet, they get back the 10 metres, and they all shoot off the line at exactly the same time. If you're not doing that every single play, Bellamy's going to have problems with your fitness. And I just think Josiah's one of those big bodies now where, you might be able to get 15 or 20 minutes out of him at a very high click, but you're not going to get much more than that. So for me, if I was Josiah, I would go and I would lean out for next year. You're massive, man. You're massive. You're fucking huge. So you don't need to be that big to be able to compete with these guys, but you do need to be quicker and you do need to move quicker laterally so you can play defense a little bit better and lead some line speed. So for me, I just think it's a fitness thing. I might not be right. This is just my take on what I've seen when he came in, and a little bit of watching him in New South Wales Cup. I just think I want more explosiveness, and I want him to be more of a wrecking ball. And at the moment, I'm just not seeing it.
I truly think he is a union player. His body is for that. He's got that sort of quick agility to get in and out of the rucks and things like that they do. Yeah, to be honest, my opinion is I'm a big fan of his. I like him, but he has to do a lot of work to try and get himself to rugby league fit.
Just a bit of a body shape change. Like, it doesn't have to be drastic. I'm not saying like lose it all.
I actually think he's going to need to do a fair bit of work to be a rugby league fit, especially with the way the game's going. I think even over this preseason, it's going to change again. So like it's fast. I don't
We've seen
think
it with
that
Nelson.
guys like him have that.
We've seen it with Nelson, like absolutely damaging. And when he's at his best, he's one of the scariest men on the park. It's like we've seen it with Nelson. Bellamy just couldn't keep him out there because there was times when he just wasn't getting back. He wasn't playing the defense. He wasn't doing the other half of the game. Like it's all well and good to dominate people when you've got the ball in your hand and be that aggressive monster that people are scared of. But if the other end of the park, you're a spot and people are looking at you to come running at you and you're not making your tackles, getting back, you're giving penalties, you're being lazy. I'm not saying he's being lazy, by the way. I'm just saying if that's happening, that's what Bellamy's looking at. He wants someone to up that fitness and then really give himself a chance to get into the 17.
And then Salome's come through and said, hopefully Gabes will have a run next week. I agree. I hope we see him next week.
Look, to be honest, we did want to see him this week too. And we've been talking about him. And look, especially just after signing that contract, it's a real shame that, he got that hip drop tackle at this particular time because this was his chance to get a few minutes in first grade. So it sucks for Gabe. And like, I hope he's all right and I hope he's feeling okay about it. But his opportunity will come. He will get another go. Okay, so I'm with you. Hopefully we do get to see him next week.
And then the last thing we'll go is Drake has made a bit of a funny comment, but I kind of tend to agree. Soon the forwards and backs will be the same size. We'll get to a point where actually everyone will be basically a half back or a winger the whole way through. And then they'll just be sidestepping and going through teams that keep the big guys on because it's just the game's so fast. And
Vlandis wants ball in play. Simple as that. And whilst they want ball in play, we're going to have people being fitter and fitter and fitter, and we're going to have more injuries. And we've seen it. There's injuries happening everywhere. So I think the answer to this will be a bigger squad. I think the answer to this might be a few more extra interchange. And I think the NRL will make some changes in the coming years, but I don't think the game will slow down. I just think the bench might get a couple more rotations they're allowed to use. And I think the squad might go from 30 to 35 or 36 players, with then your development players on the outside of that. So I think there'll be changes, but it won't be to the speed of the game. That's not going anywhere.
That's exactly right. Let's end it on that. Thank you, everyone.
Drake, can I go one more? Drake's got one more there. Can you chuck that up with the Hugo Peel? Named at fullback this week in New South Wales Cup. So he's back to his best. He's getting put back in the position that he wants to play. So let's see how he goes this week on, I think it's Friday night.
That's it. We're done. Thank you, everybody. Get into the comments. Give us a like, subscribe. Remember to go and give us a recommendation. Go and do the review, the page reviews. It's all free ways that you can support us without having to. The only thing you're investing is a little bit of your time and some thumb muscles so that you can type a few things in. Have a great couple of days, and we'll see you next on Saturday. Yeah, because it's home games. You won't be able to do it. So we'll probably do it Saturday.
Yeah, I reckon Saturday morning I'm good.
Let's go. Have a great one, everybody.
See you guys.